Everybody, this is Brandon from BC Photography. Today I'll be showing you what's in my bag, what I use for photography, and also what I use for videography. There's a lot of stuff in here. I'll try to put as many links in the description as I can, because there is a lot of stuff. But other than that, hopefully if you have any questions, comment, like, or subscribe. Let me know what helped you out. Let me know what you're looking for, and I may be able to let you in on whatever I'm using. I always comment. I always get to my questions. I hate when you comment on people's stuff, and and I know when people see what you say and people don't respond and stuff. I hate that. But I will always do my best to respond to everybody on my channel. So without further ado, here's some of the stuff that's in my bag. Let me know what you think. Alright guys, so here we are. So first up, what we're going to do is go over the photography side of the house. So without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce you to some of my toys that I have. So first up, doing these guys together, what we have here is the Canon 80D. I love the Canon 80D. I use this for more photography work. I think everybody actually should have a crop sensor and a full frame. If you can get both full frame, that's great for you. But the 80D just does so well in not only photography but video work also. And I love the screen on it. I love the tilt. I love everything on it that you can't get with a bunch of the later models. So this is kind of like my go-to, or my bread and butter for photography work. It kind of closes that gap on what I'm missing. So I love my 80D. And then here we have Big Brother. We have the 5D Mark IV. So we have both of these cameras, 5D Mark IV. I had crop sensors for a while, so I decided to upgrade to a full frame. So why not get the best of the best? Besides, I didn't go to Sony. I didn't want to go to Sony. Even though I think the A7R II is a great camera, there is just still a bunch of things that's missing from the A7R II. I went to Best Buy and I checked out both of them. I played with them for like 2 days. The A7R II did overheat on me once while I was shooting. And there's just a lot of different things, but this tutorial is not about that. I'm not worried about that. We're going to talk about that sometime later down the line. So here we have the Canon 80D and we have the Canon Mark IV. All right. We're going to talk about some older lenses. So basically what I have here is the 18 to 55. I keep the 18 to 55 even though it's a kit lens. I keep this for the 80D because it still does great in normal outside areas. So if you're if you're filming and you want to get that focal length, you still want to get a good picture, you can still use the 18 to 55 even though the f-stop is 3.5 to 5.6. It does great outside when you have lighting. And for video work, it does really good. It does everything that I need, so I can still use this lens. This is the only reason why I haven't gotten rid of it, because it still does great if I want to do some videography. I really don't use it for photography, but if I have it set up on another tripod somewhere, it does great to film either what I'm doing or what somebody else is doing in the background. So watch this before you get rid of it, guys, because yes, you can't use it is an EFS, so I can't use it on my Mark IV, neither nor would I even want to. But it still does great for the 80D if I just have it set up somewhere and I need to get that focal length. Next, what we have is the EFS 10 to 18. This was one of the great ultra wide lenses that was out. Image stabilization, autofocus, everything that you need. With a 10 in the focal length 10-18 is the perfect focal length. I love it. I still keep it for my 80D when I want to get another ultra wide zoom somewhere out on the side, but I love it, and I will always keep it for my 80D. The 50mm 1.8. I love the 50mm 1.8. I wasn't going to pay $1,400 for the 50mm 1.2 just for the simple fact that there is really not that big of a difference. A lot of people keep investing on these high quality, or not really high quality, but these high price lenses when 50 millimeter 1.8 does great in low light. It does everything that you need to. It still gives you tremendous, really good bokeh. Even though the 50 millimeter 1.2 probably will give you just a slight more in your image quality and in your bokeh, but there's no reason to pass up on something that costs little, almost to nothing. It's great to have in your bag. So I would say, if you look up any of the reviews, compare the 50 millimeter 1.8 to the 1.4 or 1.2, there is not really that big of a difference. I think people actually just buy the 1.4, 1.2 just because they want it, or just want to have it. So, you know, it's if you can afford it, if you just want it, then have it. But when you look at image quality, the normal consumer really can't really tell the difference. You can be the greatest video or the greatest photographer in the world. If that's just something that you want in your bag just to have, just to give you that extra edge, which is something that you can actually just do in Lightroom, then pay the $1,300 and get you the 1.2, the 1.2. But for what we do every day, you really don't need it, and you can still get really good shots with a little bit of editing if you want that extra bokeh in the background. And that's really all the 1.8 versus 1.2 really is, honestly. 85 millimeter 1.8. I love the 1.8. As you know, this is probably Canon's one of the fastest, or the fastest lenses that they have. And I have tested this actually against the 1.2. And that was actually one of my first tests I've done. And I love how fast this thing is. Super sharp, and it is fast, and it does everything that I need. It's great for portrait work. It's great for outside. And me personally, I love shooting on location. It's just so much better than shooting inside my house. So this is what I go to. Yes, I could have got the 85 millimeter 1.4. I got the Sigma 1.4. I could have got the 85 1.2 for $2,000. Why? When the 85 millimeter 1.8 does great in low light. It is great. It still gives you good bokeh. Why pay the money? Tamron 24 to 70 millimeter f2.8 DC. Yes, it does have image stabilization. And I actually, look, I still have the tape on it. Ain't that crazy? That's how I am. Compared to the other 24 to 70s that you see out there that are way much more. This thing is a workhorse. It is probably I love it. It's one of the best it's probably the best 24 to 70 that I have seen out there, compared to the Canon's really expensive price 24 to 70 f2.8 Mark II, Mark I, whatever the case may be. This thing is absolutely, and for a fraction of the cost, and it has image stabilization. Like, seriously, like, I think people are actually just paying for the name of Canon. I mean, I love Canon. I'm a Canon shooter, but the lenses that do just as much, just the same, for half the cost. And Tamron makes a beautiful glass. This thing is heavy, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. And compared to, like I said, compared to the Canon 24 to 70, this thing there's no difference. And again, if you put these side by side and you're taking pictures, I guarantee, unless you're zooming in and you're looking at vignetting and chromatic aberration, you're not going to really see a difference in the 24 to 70 Tamron versus the other ones. I'm telling you guys, stop paying for those really overpriced things and actually look at what you're getting and what the actual difference is. And that's one of the biggest things that I've been hearing out there. People are just buying these lenses and things because people are telling them to, when you can get other lenses, other glass for half the cost that do absolutely the exact same thing. 24 to 70, absolutely great. Now this is the holy grail. I'm sorry, this thing is the holy grail. So this is the Sigma 20 millimeter f1.4. Yes, this is the Sigma. Here you go, 20 millimeter f1.4. This thing, if you're looking for an ultra wide lens that gives you that look and also gives you that bokeh, I'm telling you, I haven't found a better ultra wide lens on the market. I promise. You can say the 24 millimeter f1.4, you can say the 30 millimeter 1.4, 35 millimeter 1.4. The 20 millimeter 1.4 is unreal, and I can't wait to actually go out and actually get my shots up and my videos up so you can actually see the 20 millimeter f1.4. It is an absolute, it's amazing. It has the fisheye a little bit there, but you still get a nice look to it. It doesn't stretch your photos out like a lot of those that I don't like, and I think that's why I actually kept my Canon 10-18, because it doesn't give you that fisheye look. I really don't like that look for what I shoot. I really don't like that look. I like to get a nice wide angle, but I also like to keep my picture kind of nice and straight without it curving too much. So again, 20mm f1.4, absolutely great. And then we go to the last lens in our bag, is the Tamron 70-200 f2.8 VC. Oh yeah, absolutely love this lens. Absolutely love it. 70-200 f2.8 VC. Yes, it does have image stabilization. Absolutely wonderful lens. I can't tell you guys how much I love this lens. And you wonder why I didn't buy the 70-200 Canon f2.8 Mark II for $2,000 something when the Tamron is half the cost. It gives you almost the absolute same, it gives you the same quality. Honestly, I actually think the Tamron is actually better. I'm sorry, but for the normal person, for what you shoot, you would not notice a difference in the Tamron versus the Canon. This thing is super fast. It's super fast, and it gives you the same focal length. It gives you everything that you need. I didn't buy the 100mm f2. I didn't buy the 135 f2 because from f2 to f2.8, honestly, you really cannot see a difference. You really can. I think people are just spending money to spend money. Guys, stop spending money to spend money. All right, get what you need and use it to what you need to use it for. Sometimes, especially in a wedding, when you're doing what you need to do, you can have two. I carry my 80mm, my Canon 80D and my Mark II when I'm at a wedding. I can carry both of them. However, having a zoom lens, especially f2.8, does everything that you absolutely need it to do. It does. Now you can have two focal lengths. I can put my 20mm on one, and I can put my 85mm on another one. And if you're just going to shoot at both of those focal lengths for the whole entire wedding, that's great. But if you need to zoom in or zoom out or zoom in or zoom out, you can get closer, you can stay closer. But there's sometimes where you can't move in a wedding and you need to get a specific shot. Or there's sometimes where you're going to be static in a situation where you need to get a specific shot and you can't get closer because you're using prime lenses. That's where a zoom lens actually shines, and that's where it actually comes into play. So it depends on honestly what you're shooting, but I'm telling you, 70-200 f2.8, there is no stopping this lens, and I think it's actually better. I think Tamron did an absolutely amazing job with this lens. All of my lenses are image stabilization, and I absolutely love them. So now let's go to a few other things. Here we have the Video Roll Mic Pro. Love it. Does everything that I needed to do. I went to a shotgun mic. Normally when I'm at an event and I need to capture room noise, what people are doing, I will throw on my Video Mic Pro. I actually keep it on top of my camera the whole time, unless I'm using my it actually sits on top of my R2 trigger for my Flashpoint. So I love it. Video Mic Pro. This is my Flashpoint Explorer 600 TTL. Yep, I have one for Canon. The funny thing is, I have not seen anybody on YouTube use the Flashpoint TTL on location. I'm probably gonna be the first to do it. And I can't wait to go to parks. I can't wait to go out and set up with my wife as my model and shoot her with the Flashpoint TTL with my Mark IV. I also have a Yongnuo, the new Yongnuo 560 Mark IV. I mainly use this as a slave in the background. That's mainly what I do. Have a trigger for this also, just in case I'm out and I just really don't feel like carrying the Explorer and setting it up. Everybody should always keep at least one flash in their package for them, because these work good. Now, along with the actual Yongnuo, I actually bought some gels also. Now, yes, I could have got the forgot what the name of the thing is, the thing that the drift or whatever it's called, that they put on the front of their flashes. But I also found these online and it worked out great. I actually used it yesterday. But you can put these type of gels on the front of your speed light and basically shot them down, and they work great. They work absolutely great. It still gives you that same effect. If you want to get that effect in on your pictures with your models and you want to get some different effects, these work absolutely great. So here is my baby. So here we have the Typhoon. This is my drone. Let me see if I can move this camera just a little bit for you guys. Stay with me. There we go. There we go. A little bit of sunlight here. Sorry about that. So basically, this is my Typhoon Q500 4K. Yes, this is my drone. It does shoot in 4K. I love going out and putting this together when I'm doing a film. Is a gimbal for my phone. Everybody should have a gimbal. This is the Zhiyun Smooth. I don't know how to say their name, Zhiyun or Zhiyun Smooth, but this is the Smooth C. I have this for my Note 5. So if I'm doing something or we need to film, or my wife needs to film me doing something, a lot of times she's not really too big with the cameras, but she can put the phone on here and still get nice steady shots of what we're doing. Or if she's in a different location, I'm in a different location, I can still trust that she will get nice steady shots with the Zhiyun Smooth C. This is the crane for my DSLR. Yes, I do have a gimbal. I love this thing. I think it's one of the best things that Zhiyun has came out with. But this is the crane, and this is for my DSLR. So basically, it gives you that nice smooth. It gives you that nice smooth run when you're actually at different places trying to get a nice smooth transition when you're video recording. Then actually, once you put it in post, you get that, you can put that film together, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. Gimbals are fine, but I also have a handheld stabilizer also. This is a handheld gimbal stabilizer. You kind of hold it like this, all right? So basically, and then you tie it down, and then you can carry it and walk around like that and move it, blah, 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 blah. So why do I have this one? And also, why do I have the gimbal? Well, a lot of times, I don't have time to put my DSLR on there and calibrate it and do all that. I mean, it takes a little minute. It's not really hard, but you have to adjust and adjust and adjust, and then you have to turn the motors on. When I can just tie it down sometimes I don't have that much time. Sometimes I just actually need to tie down and then go so I can get a nice smooth steady shot and I can hold it and do what I need to do. This is the dual handheld grip, all right? And this absolutely works out great with my crane. So once I put the other one, as you can see, the bottom part is not in here, but I can attach this and put it down in the handheld right here, and then I can hold it like this. And it really does absolutely great. Now, to go with that, I also have the 7-inch newer monitor. So when I'm at a wedding and I want to get that nice steady shot, either going up and down or left or right, I can attach my 7-inch monitor right here and then have the gimbal in the middle and get everything and see it on the really big screen. Because I'm telling you, if you do the type of videography that I do, and you're moving, the screen on the back of your DSLR sometimes gets kind of small, and you really need to get a really big picture of what you're looking at. This takes one battery, but this thing is absolutely great. It's HDMI. It hooks into HDMI. It also has a USB port. You can put headphones in it. Anything that you need to do, guys. Like I said, things are amazing. If you need questions or any information about any of my gear that I used in here, just comment, leave, subscribe, or send me a thing. There's a lot of stuff that I will have to probably put in the links, so I'll do my best to put everything in the links. But if you have any questions about any of the gear that I have or any gear that I use, just send me a message. I can also show you, this is my little studio in the background. I have this one set up with that. And then I also have a 37-inch Godox softbox that I absolutely use also. So until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot for watching.